Imagine.
Good morning once again. If you're just joining, well, you are on time for the first conversation of the day, but you have missed out on a few, catch up that we were doing with Emmanuel on what has been happening over the weekend. Some of the things that we touched on there, we're going to talk about them in depth because that is the state of the nation. That's what we are having now. And for this particular discussion, I'm joined by Lawrence and Haggai. So Lawrence is next to me, just next to me on my right. He is a student at UON, University of Nairobi, and chairperson of Nairobi University Baringo Students Association. That's NUBSA or NAPSA. And then we have Haggai Odiao. He's been here before, and he's a financial analyst and speaker at the National Bunge la Mwananchi. So they are better positioned to tell us what they feel about what is happening in our country, and let me just rep you in, guys, in this conversation. Lawrence, have I done a good intro on you? You are a leader at UON, right? So what do you do?
Currently, I'm a student at the University of Nairobi, and I do PMATs, that's at Chiromo campus, and also I'm a chairperson Baringo Students Association. Currently, also I'm a member at the Bunge la Mwananchi Chivanji, which is the national Bunge la Mwananchi headquarters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So you understand leadership because you're a leader in your capacity.
Yeah.
And we've had you, Haggai, before. So for those that are just meeting you for the first time, what do you do at the Bunge la Wananchi?
Well, first of all, besides Bunge, there's also life. Yeah, in life, I'm an associate auditor, financial analyst. I'm also a sole proprietor with much interest in business. So in Bunge la Wananchi, I'm just a moderator on how people contribute on the current affairs of the nation, the socio-economic and political affairs of the nation. Yeah, I moderate and ensure that we contribute within the constitution, within the confines of the constitution, so that we don't wrong the other nini.
Okay. Yeah. So what's your role can be likened to whose role at the National Assembly? Because Bunge la Wananchi is basically like the National Assembly, but now for Wananchi, right?
Yeah.
So your role?
Well, my role is just like that of Amason Kingi or Moses Wetangula. But Bunge la Wananchi, we are not that infrastructurally designed. Yeah. No funding. We just meet as Wananchi and we discuss issues.
Yeah, but you moderate as...
we moderate.
And you lead as, how Moses Wetangula and Moses Kingi...
Yeah, we just follow what they do at the National Assembly and at the Senate, and also 47 county assemblies. We just what they do on how they conduct their in as much as we are not that designed as per their level because of funding.
All right.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's now talk about the state of the nation, of our country. Where do you think we are? Let me start with you, Haggai, before I go to Lawrence.
Well, Kenyans need a break. It is very, very disheartening that after every election, we are just in election circles, nothing happens. We hear countless of funds have been lost in our county governments. You hear someone stolen a huge amount of money, he has invested in his property. Yet if you go to the rural part of Kenya, people are really going through a lot. And it is really disheartening. After every 5 years, politicians are just on top of their high-end cars, Wananchi. And again, you hear hospitals, nurses go on strike, doctors go on strike. Recently, university lecturers went on strike. We have the non-teaching staffs. So nothing is happening. It's just a campaign mode every now and then, and it is really disheartening. I think Kenya deserves a break.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for your opinion is that Kenya deserves a break.
Let them deliver.
Okay. What about you, Lawrence?
The state of our nation is we are moving in a wrong direction as per now.
How so?
Because in this way, because you see, a country whereby politicians are more richer even than entrepreneurs. We're moving in a wrong direction. How? What are they investing in? They're just investing in poverty to the mass. Right now, our concentration is in wrong priorities. Impeachment, things which doesn't help. Yeah, so I think we are not in the right track.
We're not in the right track.
Yeah.
That's what you say.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned the story of impeachment, which, of course, we want to start with. The deputy president is being impeached. There's the talk that is being impeached. And it might start tomorrow, being a Tuesday, that the National Assembly is sitting, right? Now, what is your opinion, before I go to Haggai, what is your opinion on this impeachment? Because you've said unnecessary things, for you from what your statement, that is unnecessary. Why do you think it's unnecessary if the MPs think that the deputy president is not working and they have all these accusations against him?
I think for me, the impeachment motion is just to divert the minds of the common mwananchi and the mass. And the rich, or what I mean, the political class, they rarely, do those things for us. For me, the impeachment doesn't bother with the common mwananchi, the Wanjiku, the Mamamboka, the boda. It doesn't bother. If he being impeached, it doesn't bother with us. Yeah. So for me, even let him be impeached.
Okay.
His impeachment, maybe it might help us get the truth of the government.
Okay.
Because when Gachagua will be impeached, maybe we know he always says he's a truthful man. Maybe he will tell us what is going on in this government.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think, Haggai?
Well, this post of deputy president, it seems to be a curse. Even from the beginning, the beginning, the vice president used to go through a lot of humiliation. You remember 1966 when Jaramogi differed with Jomo Kenyatta. It was so horrible. We read in history. And that marked the genesis of what we are seeing today. We remember also the death of Kijana Wamalwa, one of the best vice president. May his soul rest in peace. Was one of the best to me of our time. At that time I was in primary school. And now coming to this impeachment, I think those are some of the grounds which the second in command can be ousted out of office. Now the current state of Rigathi Gachagua, it is just but an instance of rotten systemic, the rot that we have in our system. I heard that he earns some millions, then in a year it accrued to a certain percentage, then they say he has acquired a wealth of 5.7 billion. He has hotels in Nyeri, in Nairobi and Kilifi. So if those grounds are realistic and they are proven, then the ouster is very mandatory. You need to be ousted out of office. Then also those who steal from public coffers, action need to be taken on them. And those who funds should be embezzled and returned to the public coffers. I think we need to start seeing things happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
So things need to start happening. And
yeah.
you're both of the opinion that, the impeachment should go on.
If at all the grounds which I saw are realistic, then there's nothing to nini about.
To talk about.
To talk
All
about.
right. Now, one of the grounds or the accusations that he was he's being accused of, and you've mentioned, is amassing wealth.
Yeah.
You know, to around 5.7 billion.
5.7 billion.
And
so something
his
like
salary
that.
does not add up to that.
Add up to that
you know.
in the period which he has been
In 2
office.
years' time.
Yeah,
Yes. So that's the deputy president. But even the people that are impeaching him, are they free of that? Because that means corruption.
Yeah.
So the people that are impeaching him, are they free? Are they free of the same?
And that's why I was calling on Nini of IBC, so that we also start recalling MPs with immediate effect, even before the end of 2024. Yeah, because you find these MPs also, they also mismanage their CDF. It is not that they are clean. Now that Rigathi maybe his reason is politically instigated, and it's going to succeed. The MPs need to, we need to start recalling them after reconstituting the IEBC. Yeah, because these MPs you find also in the management of CDF, they are like lords, chiefs. Yeah. People go and kneel down for them to give them CDF. And you find the tenders at the constituency level, they also give their cronies. They also give their family members.
Okay.
We have evidence of some of them. So we need that IEBC to be reconstituted. We start calling them back.
Right.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
Gachagua is just but an instance. You know, when people don't want you and you do a mistake, they will lean on that. And some people will see, oh, he deserves to be ousted.
Okay.
So they are also not clean. And that's why we need the president to work on IEBC issue. In fact, today we could have been having commissioners. We start recalling these MPs at the constitutional level.
And I'll get back to you on, you know, why the IBC has not been reconstituted till now, you know. So let me come to you, Lauren, still on this matter of the deputy president. And what Haggai has said is that it seems like it has some cast. Maybe we need to pray about it in the next election. But because the last election, or the last serving president, Uhuru Kenyatta, and the current president, who was then the deputy president, Ruto, were having clashes. You know, there was a rift between them. But it did not start in the first year. Theirs was not even in the second year. I think maybe it started in the third year or something, or after 5 years actually, was it? So it started later on. This current regime is starting early, but we saw that in the other regime. And the president was saying now, Honorable Ruto was saying that Uhuru Kenyatta was leaving him out of things, and it was like he had taken the former Premier Raila Odinga to do his duties and all that. That was his defense or his accusation against the president. And we remember him saying in an interview, when asked what will happen if his deputy president is in the same position he's in currently, so he said that he will not allow the juniors to speak on him, you know, to look down on him and all that. He will support his deputy president. But we have seen a ton of events, and that's politics for us. So some are saying that maybe the president was the issue from the very start, you know, and we did not really see it. And some are saying that people are saying different things. What do you think about it?
Yeah, the president said so in intermedia before, and we're seeing now things turning. I think for me, the president was just politics, and you see politics, nothing truth in politics. Yeah, so we saw it happening to our current president, Ruto, during the Uhuru regime. But we saw it happening in the second term. But we're seeing this one coming earlier. So I think this is just a political calculation and a move for 2032 presidential race. Yeah, you see, these people are just doing calculation of who will be the next president after Ruto. So for me, they've seen Gachagua maybe is not capable. They've seen maybe they look for somebody else to come from Kikuyu land, come occupy that seat for deputy president, and then, you know, getting into power from the government. What I mean is, you're not coming from outside the government, contesting for president will be much easier. And I've seen maybe Gachagua is not capable for that. So it's just that a move, a political move, and a calculation for 2032 general election. Yeah, so maybe for me, I'm seeing Kindiki is being proposed. I'm seeing Kikuyu elders, Meru elders saying Kindiki he can do it well. And we have seen even during when he was doing the vetting for the deputy president, it was Kindiki and Gachagua. And for your information, Kindiki was preferred one over Gachagua at that time. It was just a story.
How do you know?
Yeah, it's intermedia. Yeah, he was preferred more than Gachagua. But what happened was, Gachagua was well off financially. So that's why Ruto chose him over Kindiki. But it was not a preferred choice for Ruto. Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying that, you know, Kindiki is set to take the place for Gachagua.
Yeah.
And we've seen the elders endorsing Kindiki.
Yeah,
Haggai, what do you think?
Well, just to add on him, politically, you find that the predecessor, regarding Gachagua's predecessor, who is the current president, politically is more denser than the current deputy president. Because you find when William Ruto came together with the Uhuru Kenyatta, he had his own party, URP. He was in the political arena for a very long period of time, roughly 21 years, because he started with the Youth Wing, KANU Youth Wing, 1992, as we read in history. Then he was elected Eldoret North Member of Parliament, 1997. He captured the seat again in 2002. 2007, he again, so he knows the terrain of politics. Very incomparable with Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua was first elected as Mathira MP, I think in 2017, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Then he served until 2020. So he was a one-term member of parliament. So he doesn't have that political infrastructure to Nini. And again, when he joined UDA, he had no party. He joined as a Nini. He was not controlling Mount Kenya region. Because by that time, Mount Kenya region, some were with Uhuru Kenyatta, some Martha Karua, they were divided.
They're divided.
So you
find
he has no strength currently. He has no party. He has no people. You find even MPs in his backyard are against him.
But he said that they should listen. You know what he's been insisting on is that the leaders should listen to people on the ground, to allege or allude to the fact that people are with him, and it's, you know, they shouldn't impeach him, and even making sort of extending his hand to the president, almost saying that let's be together for the sake of Kenyans and all.
Well, I understand that, but when these parties are formed, I don't think if Wananchi are there. There are some few political elites who meet, they form a party, they come sell to their region, and people buy those ideologies. So in this scenario, people's voice do not count.
They don't.
They don't count. People's voice don't count. I think our voice only count during election, of which it is also twisted. Tribal chiefs can come and spread propaganda, and people buy those. Propaganda has been spread all the time. We have been here for a time, and we do research on the political history, political progression of one nation. So Gachagua finds himself in a very hard place because he doesn't have a party, doesn't have MPs, he doesn't have, in as much as he might be having resources, but I think they also differ in who should control government resources. I think that is, money is what is bringing difference in this organization.
Money is the enemy.
Money is the enemy. Nothing personal. I think someone doesn't want somebody to control a certain sector of Nini. It's all about money. But how I wish he had formed his own party. Like now, maybe he could have strengthened Jubilee. He could have been having a bargaining ground.
Okay. You think if he had the backing of Uhuru Kenyatta, because countlessly in recent times he has been calling on Uhuru Kenyatta, you know, my brother Uhuru Kenyatta, me and my brother, you know, to try bring the people of Mount Kenya to his side. So do you think that if former President Uhuru Kenyatta gave his voice on it, then it will change things?
You know, even it won't change things. Because if Uhuru Kenyatta was the president and these people couldn't hear him when he had his preferred successor as Raila, and by that time he was president, now he's a former president, will they hear? And in central Kenya, the kind of politics in central Kenya is different from Luo Nyanza. Because in Luo Nyanza, it's a one-man show. When he says we are going this direction, it's that direction. But in central Kenya, I don't know which nini they are using. You find they are with you today, and they can change. They were with the Matiba during the inception of political pluralism. You find between Kenneth Matiba, Gino Matiba, and Mwai Kibaki. Some people supported Matiba, some people supported Kibaki. Then come to 1997. Some people were with Kibaki, they divided their votes, right? Come to 2002. We had Uhuru Kenyatta and Mwai Kibaki this side. Some of them went with Kibaki. Yeah. So, and you find Kibaki was supported by Kenyans more than even central Kenya. Yeah, because they divided their votes between them and Uhuru. So you find this region, I think they are loyal to you when you are only president from their region. Okay. And they can, even if currently Gachagua will impeach, no one will hear from him again. Someone will just emerge and they will follow that person to the ballot.
Okay, so that's the thing. That's what's happening in the country. So we wait to see how the impeachment will go. But do you see him being impeached? Do you see Gachagua, deputy president, leaving that seat?
For now, maybe the current president, Ruto, has not spoken to our country concerning the issue. He has not spoken out his mind concerning that issue of impeachment. So what if President Ruto convenes a meeting and with the MPs and says that you people stop humiliating my deputy. My deputy is going nowhere. What if then two people from Mount Kenya celebrates and they says he has not betrayed our man, and it becomes politics? What if it happens so? For now, we are not that much sure of what the president will say about the impeachment. But if the president says, let it be, I think the deputy president will call. And we, the common wananchi, we don't have any issue with that. Yeah.
All right. You said earlier,
yes,
rightfully, that this might be a way of diverting Kenyans' attention from what matters.
Yes.
Now, the other things that are happening in the country is the discussion on SHIF.
Yes.
SHIF, the move from NHIF to SHIF. Before I go to Haggai, what do you think of, what are you making of that?
You see, there was NHIF, and now SHA wants to take over. I think sometimes the problem with us Kenyans is taking anything unfamiliar as fake and scandalous. My research and my analysis in SHA is that it's something good, according to my analysis. Only if the benefits pledged in SHA will be there too. Because you see, SHA has a lot of benefits to common mwananchi. Previously, with NHIF, an employed person or self-employed person will have paid 500 Kenyan shillings. Now with SHA, they're only paying 300 Kenyan shillings. Those employed to the government with NHIF and with this one, it's more beneficial and more securing the funds with SHA. So for me, SHA is a nice move to Kenyans, as it provides a variety of services in our healthcare. Financially, even if you compare NHIF with SHA, SHA is more beneficial than NHIF. So for me, Kenyans should take a priority on registering with SHA, and they should, I plead with this government that let them just adhere to the benefits placed in that SHA, and we are okay with it. We are okay with it. Yeah.
Okay. So you are okay with SHA.
Yeah.
For some people, they're not very comfortable with SHA. Now, Haggai, do you think 6 billion is necessary for the creation of the system?
Well, the government currently has 6.1 billion, and they are targeting 168 billion for the full implementation of the SHA thing. This is a good move. It's only that a lot of bureaucracy. The government need to embrace civic education and public participation. We have been lobbying with them, but people are very reluctant in this government. I don't know why. That is a good move, only that people need to be informed, the general public. They need to conduct public participation. For instance, if you have a policy, like the good policy of health, if you want to implement it in 2 years' time, you should start educating people on the importance of it, as we use just the former system. This division comes in the essence that people do not know much about it. Not all people watch TV. Not all people have smartphone. Not all people can access your website. Go to the markets. Teach people the importance of this new move.
Okay.
Well, teach people about the importance of this new move 2 years before its implementation, in such a way that you find that in the entire nation, people will be saying, when are you implementing it now? That's good. So the government should focus on ensuring it partners with a non-governmental organization in pushing some of its policies and ideologies.
Okay, all right. You have both said that this is good. This is probably better than NHIF. How is it good? Maybe you can shine some light on us, for us, Lawrence. What are these areas that are better with SHA than it was with NHIF, apart from the fact that everyone is able to profit from it, including the needy, you know, those people that can't contribute the 500 or 700?
One is that provides financial security to Kenyans.
How so?
Because you see, with NHIF, let's take, for example, someone who earns 20,000 Kenyan shillings will have paid 750 Kenyan shillings to NHIF. Now with SHA, they're only paying 550 Kenyan shillings. That means that person have saved 200 Kenyan shillings. So one, it provides financial security to Kenyans. Two, SHA, as compared to NHIF, provides a variety of services. What I mean is, if you have a family, maybe a family of 15, you just register as one. Like, if it doesn't matter how many wives you have. You might be having 4 wives, 16 children. SHA, if you register as a person, as one person, it will cover for your whole family. It doesn't matter how many wives you have, how many kids you have. I think that's the second thing. The third thing, I think it will fight corruption. As you see, NHIF, there was a lot of corruption going on. Now you see, with this SHA, we are being told to have a system which is more safe than that one which was used in NHIF.
Okay.
Yes, so for me, it will also reduce corruption in the healthcare system. Yeah.
So you feel that it will reduce corruption.
Yeah.
Haggai, what do you think? Because for the benefits of SHA, the health benefits is, let's say, the eye care. It only covers for once. For it's per household, right?
Per household, yeah.
Yeah.
Annually.
So it can only cover once for one person in a household. Then how beneficial is that?
For once, you know, some diseases are genetically instigated, and some are not. Some we acquire from the nini. So it depends. It depends. Not all people suffer from, for instance, the hypertension. Not all people suffer from such diseases genetically. But just to, I'm not a medic, but just to come on the general advantages of it over the sheep, it is very convenient. It's very in such a way that you find that with the NHIF, you had to choose an hospital, such that when you get ill in a certain point, you have to be taken to the hospital where you have chosen. And maybe if you get ill around Aga Khan and you chose Kenyatta, you'll have to be driven by ambulance to Kenyatta.
Yeah.
And that used to promote death maybe before treatment. But now with the SHA, where you have gotten ill, they just get and key in your details, and if you have it, you just get treatment. Yeah.
Okay, so you feel that it's better.
Very convenient for the nini.
Okay.
But in terms of diseases, it also caters, especially for the women, the cesarean section and the SVD.
So it's not limiting to patients.
Yeah, the SVD and the cesarean section, and to our women also who go through that delivery. I think the cost is very effective.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving away from SHA, let's talk about the CBC,
Yeah.
because it's also something that has been making news. Now, the grade 8 learners who have been the pioneers of the JSS school education system, they should be moving to grade 9. And they were to be domiciled initially in high schools, but there was a turn of events, and they're now to be domiciled in primary school, right? And in one of the newspapers, they discovered how they are saying that they have not received funds, and it's 3 months. We only have 3 months to build these classes. Then what is the problem? And I'll just read just for context on People Daily, right here. I think I've lost it. Maybe you can tell us what you think about it before I go to what the paper has highlighted.
Well, I term it the very chaotic competency-based curriculum. Just as I had commenced by saying that public participation is very essential. This CBC thing was once rushed. They didn't check how many schools do we have. Are they well built? The quality of education which our teachers had in college, which type was it? Can we introduce the CBC education in teachers training college first, so that we train people who can understand what they are going to teach? Because you find some teachers do not know even how to nini. So our children are half-baked. You find a class, this primary school kids in the lower grade, and those lower grade, they have a very huge bag behind their back.
That's true.
Meanwhile, we are going to face lumbar sacral cases in future. It's very chaotic, and how I wished that this issue was not rushed. Yeah, long before we had a subject like ACM. I heard there was ACM, the art and craft.
Okay.
We had the home science.
Yeah.
I think they could have enhanced in ensuring such subjects are taught in the 844, so that when you get out, you know how to make clothes, you know how to do cleaning, you know how to do other things,
life skills,
rather than coming with these things. So I think it was rushed without a proper infrastructure, physically and also educationally, to the education service providers, the teachers. Yeah.
Okay, so for you it was rushed.
Rushed. Yeah.
More could have been done to
more
help.
more could have been done in just educating people and ensuring they start at the tap. You know, when you have a tap, a running tap, and it's flowing in a room, it is better you close the tap first, then you mop the room, rather than mopping the room and the tap is still
on.
This thing could have been started at the TTC, the Teachers Training College. Yeah, so that we train, we have such people in thousands or in hundreds of thousands. Then we come to infrastructure. So we have people who can teach this course, and the infrastructure is also there. Then they could have implemented it, even in 10 years' time.
All right,
Yeah.
because I know one of the things that they're also trying to do is train teachers on JSS. So maybe that is being done, but there's no funds, so there's no schools,
And that
the classes, and the teachers.
And that is the problem they are facing, because now you are running it, you are multitasking. You want to train them. You also want to those school-going kids to get the education. You find it is very difficult. They are not going to get the quality education
that they should.
Yeah, and again, you find even currently, the infrastructure in our schools is really insane. You remember the Endarasha?
Yeah.
And many schools, many people died, may their soul rest in peace. So you find our schools are not that well built. Yeah.
Okay, great. Lawrence, what is your opinion on this? What is your opinion on CBC and the domiciling of the students who only have 3 months, around 3 months to join, yet the schools have not been built because they have not received fund from NGCDF?
Moving from the 844 system to CPC curriculum, sometimes change is good, but it was untimely for CPC in our country, because even at this point, the parents are confused, the children are confused, even the government is confused of this CPC. I think the person who understood well this curriculum was the late Makwa, and may his soul continue resting in peace. So for me, at this point, everybody starts confused with this thing, and government priority is wrong, because we see now with this thing, CPC, the infrastructure is still too low. Infrastructure in this way that you might find a school whereby they only have 2 JSS teachers or 3.
Yeah.
And they have to maybe teach around 24 subjects maybe in a week. So this infrastructure is still too low. The government, if they to make this thing work, let them budget well for this CPC thing, because you see now many schools, they don't have the structure of, they don't have the classes. Those in JSS, they're still sharing classes with us in junior ward. Yeah, so that's, I think the priority of the government should budget well for this CPC thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's someone, the governor of Trans Nzoia, I've just gotten it, that's George Natembeya, was speaking in Kitale on 20th this month. He is advocating for the abolition of the CBC, expressing worries about its effects on the future of students. So Natembeya was speaking on Saturday, just read a bit of it, in Kitale Town, mentioned that the parents, students and other education stakeholders seem to lack an understanding of the CBC. This curriculum has flaws, making it challenging for the government to implement effectively. So do you think, I'll ask you, Haggai, that we should do away, because of the challenges we have mentioned, should we do away with CBC or should we find ways to make it work?
Doing away with the CBC will be a shame, because it's a process which is already running. It will be a very big shame. But how I just wish maybe they do it per class, rather than covering 3 classes. Maybe they say, if you go to this class, we will teach you CBC as you go to Nini. So it was a sham from the beginning. And that's why I was saying that the government should, before implementing something, you should first of all evaluate what is its pros and cons to the Kenyan people. Yeah.
All right. Great. Now, the other thing that is also affecting Kenyans, or will affect Kenyans, is the reconstitution of IBC. And you've said that we need to have the IBC commissioners so that Kenyans can easily recall MPs who think are not functioning,
like
yesterday.
Yeah.
So tell us about it real quick before we come to a closing.
The constitution of IBC will allow us to, because IBC caters for the Nini of election. Without IBC, we cannot hold election. Currently, we have wards. We have constituencies whose MPs who are recently promoted to be cabinet secretaries. Yeah, we have some constituencies which have no representation currently. And I even fail to understand how they operate. And you find that this is a leeway for the Constituency Development Fund to be misused. Who will be accountable? So I think we are really in a mess.
Okay.
And the IBC should be reconstituted very fast. So that we start recalling these people.
Okay.
Yeah, some people
So-
should not finish 5 terms in that.
All
As they deal with Gachagua,
We
they need
also-
also to form that we start dealing with them.
So it'd be fair enough.
Yeah,
Because when you're talking about
yeah,
wealth,
because
massive wealth,
yeah, as they finish with the Gachagua this week, we also
Next.
need to start with them at the October. Yeah.
all right, you have said it.
Yeah.
And now to you, Lawrence. We had our former vice president, that is Kalonzo Musyoka. He was blocked from Kitengela Church over the weekend, and on People Daily they have the whole story on page 7, just to sample it a bit. So anger as Kalonzo Azimio team barred from Kitengela Church. Kalonzo said he and his team were being denied freedom of worship, warning that the president is misusing police officers. He also waded into the issue of Ruto blaming Ford Foundation for funding anti-government protest and retreating his statement, saying it was a red flag of how the president is evading the harsh reality. That's what Kalonzo Musyoka had to say, the Wiper leader. What do you think? Is it true that that the president is misusing police officers, Lawrence?
Yeah, I think I can thumb that one as cowardice in politics. Like, you see, the move to church, or him going to church, he was to have some campaign or what, a sort after the church service in Kitengela. So it was just politics, and the government was maybe scared of it. Maybe the mass might follow him. And you see recently even Tepariolo Thenye, Kalonzo was speaking in a way that he's supporting Gachagua. So for me, it was just this Gachagua thing with Kalonzo, and yeah, it was just politics of Kalonzo and Gachagua. Yeah. The fourth thing, at first, our president said that he blamed Ford for the Gen Z demonstrations.
Yeah.
Then on 24th of this month, the same President Ruto praised Ford for bringing democracy in Africa, in Kenya. So we don't know of his stand, because at first he criticized Ford.
But again, he came to praise.
He came to praise on 15 of July. He praised Ford. He criticized Ford. On 24th of this month, he praised
September.
Ford and placed the blame on Gachagua on the Gen Z thing. He placed the blame that Gachagua was the one financing the
protest.
Gen Z thing, but it was first Ford.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So politics, clearly, as we can see, a lot happens in a day. Things change very fast, very quickly, and we can't talk enough about politics. But maybe we will have you one on another day as we extend this particular conversation. A lot is happening in Kenya. I want you to give your final takeaways or parting shots as you give your social handles.
Well,
This is your camera. Let me start with you, Haggai.
well, just to give my kicker is that police officers or the Kenya Police Service should not be used to settle political scores. And the president should just abide by what he had promised Kenyans. The police shouldn't be used. Let's give each and everyone a fair ground to play and sell his ideologies. Then the winner, Kenyans will decide on who wins. Yeah. And just to add, let's be kind to one another.
Let's be kind.
To one
Kindness
another. Yeah.
is the best that you can
Is
give.
the-
What's your
yeah.
handle?
Huh?
Your social handle?
My social handle, Facebook, Haggai Mrisho Odiao.
Haggai?
Mrisho Odiao.
Mrisho Odiao.
Odiao, yeah. On Facebook.
Yours?
On Twitter, Haggai Speaker.
Okay.
At Haggai Speaker, yeah.
Haggai Speaker.
And
All
TikTok.
right. Now to you, Lawrence.
my parting shot is that for this country, for us to prosper as a country, I think the executive, the National Assembly should just respect the judiciary. Because you see in our country, judiciary is just independent in papers. To wind up with, I want to urge all youths to come out 2027, fight for different seats in different countries, different counties, at the ward level, constituency level. Let's come out, call for these seats, change our nation.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Where can people get you on social media?
Facebook, Lawrence Rono.
Lawrence Rono.
Yeah.
Okay, so Facebook is your active social media platform. So
Yeah.
Lawrence Rono, and that's who we've been having today for this particular conversation. We've had Lawrence Kiprono and Haggai Odiao, and you've had their takes on this. What is your take? You can talk to us at Y254 channel. The hashtag is Y in the Morning. And remember, we have asked you a question on social media. How can you be there for someone who's recovering from drug addiction? We want to hear from you. Talk to us. We take a short break and then we'll be right back with that particular conversation.